so I disrupted the house this morning, but listen, this is a real serious deal. I leave the house.
Only for you.
I'm running early this morning. So I would have been here even earlier, and I ended up being about 11 minutes late to the studio this morning, which kind of put me all discombobulated because
All right. See, I shouldn't have made you so discombobulated.
Well,
11 minutes.
listen, 11 minutes, that's a big deal when you're preparing for the morning show.
No, it wasn't that you were 11 minutes. It was the whole what you left here, yada, yada, yada.
Right, well, that's why I'm bringing this up, and I'm going to ask you, the MJ Morning Show listener, would you have done the same thing, or would you have said, just screw it, I'll deal with it?
Deal with it.
All right, here's what happened. We're attached to our cell phones. I left the home this morning, or left our home this morning. That's awkward. I left the house this morning.
Yeah.
I left the house this morning, and I left my cell phone, and I realized it literally at the point of no return. And luckily, I was able to make the U-turn and go home. I was just about to get onto 275 southbound, the Howard Franklin Bridge on Kennedy. And then, once you get on, you got to go all the way, unless you want to use that little turnaround, that secret turnaround, which you can get a ticket for doing that, halfway through the bridge. But I'm leaving the house this morning, and I left my freaking cell phone on the coffee table in the living room, because that's where I have my shoes, and I have my carry bag with all of my material, and that's what I grab. And I put the phone down on the coffee table. Usually I have it in my pocket, but it was in my hand, and I put it down on the coffee table, and I gave the dogs an extra special goodbye this morning as they were just lounging on their little Kirkland doggy beds on the floor in the living room, and I left the damn phone. And I'm about to get onto the bridge on Kennedy, and I'm like, oh my, where's the phone? And I, kind of did the little cell phone. I'm patting my pockets, and
the pants pocket pat that you always do.
The panic pat.
That's a triple P.
The kids and I all do it right behind you, laughing at you.
It's the quadruple P, because it's the pants pocket panic pat.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
It really sounds like your family bullies you.
And by the way, Michelle and the kids find it so funny that if I think that I might have left my cell phone somewhere, that there's like a face comes over me, and then I start patting, patting my pants. So it's the pants pocket phone panic deal. So I have that. I'm like, oh, where's my phone? I'm like, oh, son of a, and then I realized that I left it in the living room. So
let me tell you, if you made it that far, that's pretty far, because usually it only happens about quarter of a mile down the street.
Yeah. For whatever reason, I got 6 minutes away from the damn house.
Yeah.
So I went 6 minutes toward work, and then I had to go back another 6 minutes. Then I had to go into the house. But the question is, and think about this, folks, if you did the same thing I did, and you're going to be at work, and I've got, I'm going to be here doing the morning show for 4 hours, the travel time, and what would you do? Would you go back to your house? Would you turn around and go get your cell phone? Or would you say, you know what? I can live without a cell phone for 5-6 hours in my case, but in your case, it might be, maybe you're at work for 7-8 hours. What would you have done?
I'll tell you what I would have done.
Yeah,
we know.
I would be told by my husband, you don't need that phone. You're fine. Let's keep going where we're going.
Oh, so you're accusing me of...
That's what you did to me when I left my phone in the house one time. You don't need the phone.
Yeah. He marginalizes other people's experiences, but takes his to heart.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yes.
so
Beautiful.
this is turning into an MJ bashing
You're
segment.
exactly right, Michelle.
I think we were going to dinner or something. You were like, I was like, well, I don't have my phone. And the kids were away. Chloe's in Scotland. Julian's at school. And you were like, you don't need it. I got mine. I'm like, yeah, well, if they want to call me, though, you know.
Yeah.
But the issue is that I would not be able to sign...
Special issue for you.
I needed my cell phone for my two-factor authentication to get into my Gmail
Why
account.
do you need that for 5 hours?
You're exactly right.
Most
I love
people...
what you said this morning.
What?
What if Michelle needs to reach me? I have Fester's phone number. I have Roxanne's phone number. I have Froggy's phone number.
By the way,
I have the
everyone
Wi-Fi.
has Fester's phone number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know where he is because you can just tune in and hear him and check on him.
Right.
So You know what, Roxanne? It's funny you say that.
Yeah, by the way, I know what Fester's about to
Funny
say.
you say that, and I've been thinking about this for
A
years.
friend
Oh,
of
yeah.
a friend of Michelle once said to Michelle, Fester, go ahead, repeat it.
You know, Michelle, your husband has the best job for you to have an affair. Because you know where your husband is all the time because he's on the radio. You tune in, you know where your husband is.
First of
you
all,
can go have another affair, Michelle.
I don't think that
Is she friends with Linda Richmond?
That's all of Michelle's friends.
or Fran Drescher.
I mean, what the hell?
Have Michelle, you know, if Todd wanted to have an affair, he'd catch him in a second.
I'm
But
Vic
you,
Clem.
on the other hand, if you wanted to have an affair on Todd, just listen to the radio. You know where he is.
right.
You could run around.
Hey,
The town is your oyster.
Hey, Fester, Michelle's friend, whoever the hell said that, was not on Coffee Talk. Okay.
I love Bob.
That is how I picture every one of Michelle's friends.
All right, Michelle. First of all, which one of your friends said that? That
I don't remember now.
Come on, yes you do.
No, I don't remember.
Who? Come on,
I don't remember.
out him. Come on, out him.
No.
Yeah. So the suggestion was that if Michelle wanted to have an affair, that she could easily have an affair between 6 and 10 a.m.
It's true,
That
Michelle.
I wasn't gonna like walk in on her, you know.
I remember when I was running around on my husband
All right,
and he
stop
walks
it.
in on us.
Stop it, Fester.
So awful.
All right.
She sounds hot.
You're
Anyway.
so lucky, Michelle.
All right, I got to move on here, but I turned the car around. I was a little later than I wanted to be getting to the studio this morning because, listen, most people would do. All right, I'll tell you what, let's go to phones quickly. You leave your phone at home, you're 6-10 minutes down the road. Do you turn around and go home, or are you able, this is the big question, are you able to live without your phone for the day? That's the question. Yes or no?
Impossible.
800-990-1047. 800-990-1047. And then, Michelle, inevitably, you would have then yelled at me, oh, that's convenient. I needed you for something, and you left your phone home.
No, because I would have been able to call Fester or Roxanne or Froggy or the warm line.
All right, listen, I'm going to grab a couple of calls on this before we move on, but I disrupted the house because then the dogs weren't
That's what you're
expecting
gonna
me
get yelled at for.
to come back. The
that's-
dogs start barking.
Yep.
Yeah, we upset the dogs.
Yeah.
They didn't know what was going on.
Yeah. Listen,
They're
the phones.
scared and terrified. They thought there was an intruder.
Michelle.
Dogs are all scared and confused.
Wouldn't it have been crazy if your boyfriend would have came over the second Todd left, but he left his phone at home? Oh my God!
Oh, you
You're
stop.
so lucky, Michelle.
Would you
You
stop?
have him scheduled to come in on Wednesdays.
What do you today's Tuesday.
Chandler's girlfriend.
That's right. She's lucky he's scheduled for Wednesday. That's right.
So the affair guy is showing up on Wednesday at
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
Yeah, Mr. Siderise there at 6 a.m. on
Yeah.
Wednesday.
You better stick to your schedule.
And is the radio playing in the background while they're doing it,
Then-
so they can hear where I am?
Michelle, tell him about the time you and your side ride were doing it to the Peter Cofield song.
my
Will you
God.
stop it, Fester?
Stop it. That's disgusting.
Little radio genius climbing into your bed.
That's not how the song goes.
I changed it.
Michelle, I'm sorry for laughing.
Time to get up, get out of bed.
Hey, Michelle, it's 6 a.m. I'm here. Hey, how you doing?
Your head, get up.
All right.
He's a mob guy now?
Michelle's dating a mob guy, and her best friend is the co-host of Coffee Talk.
And the guy's out of The Sopranos.
Oh, hey.
Paulie Walnuts.
How you's doing?
All right, Michelle. All right, goodbye.
What friends do you have?
Love you. Oh. All right. Hey, thanks for the reciprocation there. All right, it's 7:38 at the MJ Morning Show. So the phones are loaded. If you're on hold, hang on. Yes, Rox.
After we take calls, I have to share a cell phone experience that is very enlightening.
Okay. The question is, would you do the same thing? Could you live without your cell phone for the day? I maintain most people will say no. We're attached to these things. They are surgically attached to our bodies these days. And there's cell phone anxiety. There's cell phone detachment anxiety syndrome. Cell phone detachment. What is that? Cell phone CDAS. CDAS. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cell phone.
Yes, that
Yes.
works.
Yeah.
CDAS.
Yeah.
MJ, if it wasn't for Wordle, I would throw my phone away if I could.
Lillian is in Tampa. Hello, Lillian. You're on the MJ Morning Show.
Hi.
All right, so Lillian, would you have cell phone separation anxiety like I did this morning and turn the car around?
Yes, I would.
Have you ever done it, Lillian?
I have forgotten my phone, and I've gone back home to get it.
Gotcha. How old are you, Lillian?
I'm 14.
Yeah, I was going to say you sounded on the young side, so I think this afflicts all ages. So, my age, in my 50s, Lillian is 14. Lillian, are you with mom or dad in the car right now?
Yeah, I'm with my mom.
All right, how old's your mom?
43.
All right, hey, Mom, would you do the same thing? Do you have cell phone separation anxiety? Would you go back and get it?
Probably, because I would have felt like it was an emergency, would have arrived at that moment, and I would have needed it.
Yep. See, there you go. Again, it's anxiety. Thank you, Mom and Lillian, for calling in and listening. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, Kim is in Tampa. Kim, you're on the MJ Morning Show. Hi.
Hi.
Kim, do you have cell phone separation anxiety?
I don't really, but if I didn't go back and get my cell phone, my daughter would.
Explain.
I'm 69 years old.
Yep.
My husband recently passed away.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that.
Thank you. But if I don't have my cell phone with me at all times, she panics because she needs to know where I am.
100%. And that's why I went back and got it as well. By the way,
how old are you, Kim?
She said she's 69.
Okay, there's an age when if your parents don't answer the phone, you think they're dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my God, it's terrible.
I mean, listen, Allison's mother lives in Land O'Lakes. We call her once, we call her twice, we call her 3 times.
And then you immediately think of the worst possible thing.
And
I
I'm like,
usually
That
think the gas
she
stove
was
is blown
she was
up.
taking a bath and a toaster fell in.
something
Yes.
happened. I mean, somebody who always
I
answers
have
their
two-
phone.
I have 2 40-pound dogs. So her fear is always one of them's going to knock me over.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Yeah.
fall.
Break a hip? Absolutely.
Right. Hey, thanks for the call. Hey, this show has the best demographic spread of any show in the entire 14 years old, the last caller, and then that caller was 69. We've got the best demographic spread. I'll grab 2 more calls, Andrew, then I got to move on. We've got Kat in Valrico, cell phone separation anxiety. You go to work, you're 10 minutes down the road, you forgot your cell phone. Do you say, screw it, I can deal with it for a day without, or do you go back and get it, Kat?
I have to go back and get mine.
Yep.
I've gotten all the way to work before and not had it. I feel like I'm missing a part of me if I don't have it.
Yeah, it's like you're missing a digit, like like your right hand is gone. All right, so Kat, how far was the drive back home from work?
Okay, you're going to laugh because I only work 3 miles from my house.
All right, so
It wasn't that bad.
yeah, so it's not terrible. Kat, thanks. Rudy in Lakeland, Rudy, MJ Morning Show. Your thoughts on cell phone separation anxiety?
At first, when you were talking about this, I thought it was about you and not about me.
Hey, Rudy, it sounds like you're flying a biplane. Is there any?
I have an older vehicle. I'm out in DFA. But
Got the Red Baron on the phone.
All right.
That's a good
All right,
minute.
Rudy,
Earhart.
pick up your phone, Rudy.
All right,
Pick it
Rudy,
up.
all right, Rudy, go ahead. I'll try to understand you.
Okay, I moved the phone a little bit.
Oh, thank God.
If you and I think you're
Phone was in the back seat. He's trying to have a conversation with us. All right, go ahead, Rudy.
more dependent on phones than everybody else, I think. I'm driving a long haul, so I need to have the phone in case of an emergency.
Yep.
You're doing a short distance. You're not going to be gone all day, and that's the difference between you and I. You need that phone personally because you're probably OCD.
That's a good point. That's a good point,
Me,
Rudy.
OCD? No.
A phone gives him control.
Yeah, another difference between MJ and you, Rudy, is he doesn't fly a single-engine plane to work.
All right, thank you, Rudy. All right, one last call. Brandon in Tampa. Hello, Brandon. You got the final say on this. Go ahead.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Go.
Hey, I'm totally, if I left my cell phone at home, I would totally just leave it there. If it was up to me, I would have no cell phone at all.
All right. So I couldn't do it. I had to turn the car around this morning, go back to the house, disrupt the dogs because the dogs know the pattern. They know I leave, and then I came back at 5-8 minutes later, and then they're barking, waking everyone up. So thank you, Brandon. Appreciate it. All right, moving along. We got to get into
no.
Yes.
I have a story.
Yes.
Roxanne has a cell phone story that she
Okay.
said was
All right.
enlightening.
It is. Okay, so Friday, I took my vacation day. I was a volunteer chaperone at Florida Aquarium with my kids, with my daughter, and my sister was a chaperone as well. So after the field trip, we took a ton of photos, and both of our phones were about to die. So I text Doug and I said, hey, my phone's going to die. He had dropped us off down there, by the way. So I needed him to get home. So I said, my phone's going to die. Just plan on later this afternoon. I'll somehow get a hold of you. And then my sister's phone dies. So we're down there. We have no phones. We have our girls. We just had the best day. We rode the trolley. We went to the Edition Hotel. We also kind of took our 6-year-olds on a bit of a pub crawl. We went to the Pearl. We went to the, had coffee there. That's when I saw Ric Flair. I sent you guys a photo of seeing Ric Flair.
Yeah, she's sitting at the bar with some like geriatric man with his arm around her. I'm like, Roxanne, what are you doing? And she's like, that's Ric Flair.
Ric Flair was at the Pearl?
He was at the Pearl.
On
at the
Water
bar.
Street.
Yes,
Hey,
yes.
baby.
And I wouldn't have
Did he
even...
go, whoa?
I'm sure.
Was he just sitting at the bar going, whoa?
Yeah, he wanted to woo Roxanne.
No, he was there with his wife, and and his friend. I never would have had
Instead
a word.
of saying, waitress, does he go, whoa?
Yes.
He wants another
Waitress.
Wants another drink. Whoa!
Somebody bring the waitress over.
So he was sitting there, and I never would have even known it was him because I never would have talked to his friend because I would have been buried in my phone. But instead, I'm like gregarious, and I'm like, "Hey guys, sorry for bringing the vibe down, having kids at the bar, but our kids were so good; they were just coloring." But anyways, the next day, my sister and I were talking. She goes, "Do you know why yesterday was so much fun?" And I said, "Yeah, because we were drinking." And she's like, "No." I go, "Yeah, because we didn't have the little kids with us." No. Because we didn't have our phones. And it was like we were experiencing the world at a different level.
Can I ask you a question? Why
Yes.
don't you have a battery bank?
I don't want one.
But you don't even need the large, heavier, like brick-like battery banks. They've got the little, like lipstick size ones that you can just plug into the bottom of your phone.
Yeah, because that wouldn't have given me a day like that day, like Friday.
Yeah,
you
she
know?
wouldn't have like elderly wrestlers trying to eye grope her.
It wasn't.
One of the questions, before
Not
I
at all.
forget.